you, Ray. Hello, everyone. My name is Professor Evan Gilbert, and I'm a research strategist in the Research Hive at Momentum Investments, as well as an adjunct professor in the Department of Business Management at the University of Stellenbosch. I work with our team in the Research Hive, researching a range of applied topics aimed at both a better understanding of the behavior of our clients, as well as improving the investment performance of our asset management teams. A specific focus of our research is understanding the role that technology can play in both these areas. Behavioral finance issues or behavioral finance related issues will always come up in this context for us. And so being a part of this event, which combines both, is very relevant and exciting to me. I'd like to thank the CFA Society, and Jennifer Henry in particular, as well as Gabs and Torbert Emmerling for their support of this event. I'd also like to thank all the presenters for their time and hard work in preparing and presenting the content to us all. Now, behavioral finance is all about people and their misbehavior. So it's not obvious what artificial intelligence can do to help us understand and engage with this topic. However, as we've seen from this event, the answer is lots. Having watched these presentations, it is very clear that there is significant potential for better behavioral science through the use of AI-related tools and techniques. I will now just summarize some of the key insights that resonated with me. I found Laura and Sam's presentation addressed the AI behavioral science nexus most directly. Sam first covered how people interact with AI models, and then secondly, Laura discussed how AI models can facilitate more effective behavioral science practices. Sam made the point that the most important recent innovation in the application of generative AI via large language models, or LLMs, is not the model itself, but rather the interface with the model. It is this innovation which allows individuals to engage directly with an AI model that really has catapulted this area into the attention of the wider world. He uses this point to make an important insight for all potential users of AI. The right interface is so important for the effective use of the model. It's the way that people access it and help overcome the information asymmetry between them and the model. And that's where the magic really happens. AI's models can cover an incredibly broad range of inputs, and as a result, its intelligence is a fundamentally different nature to that of the user. But in practice, it comes down to context. AI models don't have that specific context of the user, and therefore always going to be a disadvantage if there's no easy way to get that across to them. Sam points out that as a user of AI, it is your expertise that gives you the ability to provide your specialized context that will determine your ability to effectively leverage the power of AI most effectively. Laura then went on to highlight the potential contributions that AI can make to the practice of behavioral science. She points out that doing behavioral science properly requires a systems-based approach, which takes you from where you are, from a behavioral perspective, to where you want the behavior to be, thus providing an understanding of what's stopping this desired outcome from occurring naturally. So how can AI help with this practice? She sees AI's key contribution in terms of its ability to do what she calls divergent or lateral thinking. It can really give users a head-on start as to what to do differently. It can also add value by giving input on how the system is actually working, as opposed to the theory about how it should be working. It can give suggestions as to what might be the most impactful interventions. And finally, AI can also help with understanding potential unintended consequences of the interventions, limiting their effectiveness. There are challenges, though. The black box problem is always present, particularly with the ranking of the impact of the interventions. Dr. Greg Davies of Oxford Risk also focuses on the strengths of this technology-user combination. Focusing on the financial advice space, he highlights the very important difference between diagnosis and prescription, and reviews the role of decision prosthetics in both contexts. These prosthetics are technology-based tools to enhance accuracy, reduce the noise, and reduce biases in both these steps of the advice process. For Greg, the real value of technology is not only the better quality of the diagnosis produced, but the ability to let advisors leverage their unique value add, spending time with their clients. So while tools are fundamental to the diagnosis step, he points out that to be successful, prescription requires the input of human values and the provision of individual comfort. It's not enough to know where to direct your clients to go. It's important to be able to effectively help them get there. So how can tech help in this space? Well, he says that the use of tools such as a financial personality tool a dashboard summarizing key characteristics of your client groups, and data-based behavioral nudges will all significantly improve the consistency and the effectiveness of the advice process. In short, he's saying that it is the combination that will work best. Well-designed decision support tools will enable both clients and advisors to be more consistently their best selves. Now, Glenn Gillis of Sea Monster's story of the impact of games was a fascinatingly different take on how technology can change behavior. To him, play can provide a place to experiment, and that is how we learn. His company's produced over 120 impact games, mostly in the financial services sector. He calls it playing for prosperity, something that would be music to my 17-year-old son's ears. The key, though, is to have a goal in the game, and then give them agency, the player's agency, inside a rules-based world. By making their own decisions that affect the progress towards the goal in the game world, feedback on their progress can help them learn about how their actions can lead them towards the desired outcome. Tech, in this context, can take learning out of the very expensive real world. After all, you only have one chance to save for retirement, and let people learn from their mistakes in a way that limits the consequences. Finally, the contributions of Ryan Murphy and Paul Nixon provide excellent insights into how technology is helping behavioral finance practice increase its sophistication, both in terms of its conception and its application. Paul Nixon is a very dear colleague of mine at Momentum Investments. I really appreciate his ability to turn what can sometimes be relatively dry or academic topics into accessible material. In this case, he took his normal, usual off-the-wall inspiration from the TV show Friends. By reviewing the characters' personality types from observation, using the Big Five personality traits, Paul shows how these characteristics can inform the analysis of their behavior. He showed how these personality traits also influence money behavior and thus can, or perhaps even should, complement any behavioral finance analysis in the financial advice space. He then completes the link to technology by showing how large language models like GPT-4 have been used to generate automatically new episodes of Friends in which the characters produce emotionally consistent lines. Well, at least 80% of the time. Not a perfect result to be sure, but a clear indication of the potential to link personality and emotions to generative AI, providing a very exciting prospect in the financial advice space, where hyper-personalized, emotionally targeted interventions offer huge potential for changing self-destructive behavior. He then reviewed how Momentum Investments are currently using AI to classify our investors' behavior, as well as summarizing where we want to go in terms of building an AI-based predictive model that moves us closer to this promise of these hyper-personalized, emotionally sound financial advice. To wrap up, Ryan Murphy of Morningstar's presentation was especially sweet music to my ears as I go about my job. The simple but not easy problem of assessing portfolio goodness is something that I think about very, very often in my research role at Momentum Investments. His emphasis on the importance of the goal and getting there effectively is exactly what we focus on when we design and implement our investment solutions. I agree very strongly with the point he makes that while most investment professionals think about maximizing the risk-adjusted returns of their portfolio, in other words, its investment efficiency, without a clear goal statement, the investment effectiveness cannot really be assessed. Then, of course, there's the question of endurability. Without making sure that clients stay the course, or more accurately, understanding why clients don't do this in practice, we won't be effective in helping them get to their desired destinations. This understanding of the importance of the journey is very commonly overlooked, in my opinion, particularly amongst investment professionals. Finally, he brought up the question of ethics. Believe it or not, for a lot of people, investing in products is more than just the returns, and investment managers need to be aware of this and act accordingly. Ryan goes on to show that while having vivid, emotionally grounded goals can provide vital information to clients wanting to behave well, getting them out of clients in a consistent way is a real challenge for an advisor and investment management firms who want to build this into his business. His AI-led research example shows how this can be done. His emphasis on simple, easy, and relevant is very, very apposite. Having viewed all of these presentations, there's no doubt about the vast potential for technology to support the practice of behavioral science. I can't wait to be part of this revolution. It has been a privilege to be part of this event, and I hope that it helps you see why I'm so excited about the future in this space. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.